This car isn't for the driver. This car is for the passengers. Every fiber of my being resisted, but I slid my legs into the back of the front seat. Oh, the view is better. And also at the passenger's disposal, well, actually, the owners, though the owner is Igor, and we're riding in a museum exhibit of right-hand drive cars anyway, at the owner's disposal is their own air conditioner with an air ionizer. Actually, there are two air conditioners here. There's also a tape deck cassette, of course, with Dolby surround sound. See this button? And there's also a function, how should I put ITA voice recorder. You just press this microphone button here and record your brilliant thoughts, preferably in Japanese. Plus, you can control the rear seat. Look, I can move it back, move it forward, raise the backrest now, the seat cushion. On the right side, there's a massage function. There's a button on top. Press it, and somewhere around your lower back, it starts to go bzzz. There's also ambient lighting. Terrifingo O. And also, once upon a time though, unfortunately, they're no longer here. Package included soft slippers, sleep masks for a sweet sleep, and on the right side in the pocket, sadly, also gone there used to be a shoehorn. Believe it or not, but in Japan, there is a car of the highest unattainable level. It is used by the emperor, the prime minister, and the ministers of Japan. All the more amazing it was to encounter it in Moscow. And who do we have to thank for that? Of course, Igor, the emperor of the Japanese Car Museum. Arigato, Igor-san. How did it all begin? There are several legends, but we won't dig into them. The main reason for its appearance was quite simple. In the mid-60s, competitors released super high comfort cars, the Nissan President and the Cedric Special, but Toyota did not. How could that be? That's what they thought at the factory. And they tasked a still young engineer, Kenya Nakamura, with fixing the situation. And in 1967, which was 2 years later than the others, it finally appeared, the Toyota Century. The name Century translates as century or 100 years. The release of the car was timed to coincide with the anniversary of Sakichi Toyoda, the founder of Toyota Industries. By the way, the car's emblem is a phoenix. I can't pronounce its name in Japanese. Some might say its appearance is outdated, especially considering that our example is from 1992, but you don't understand anything. The car's appearance is conservative, and of course it was created with an eye on American trends. But it also follows the traditions of the Japanese style that had already emerged by the mid-60s. Let me tell you this. The car's look hasn't changed for 30 years. No, there were minor visual and significant technical changes, but the Century has always remained true to itself. Trendy fashions are for the impressionable youth. Style is for accomplished men. There's no point in listing the changes. The monumental silhouette of this sizable vessel has remained unchanged. By the way, from bumper to bumper, it's 5,120 millimeters long, and the wheelbase is 2,860 millimeters. And the bumpers themselves, steel chrome-plated lips with integrated marker lights and turn signals. Interestingly, there's quite a bit of chrome on the car, but you can't say it's overdone at all. It only emphasizes the car's status. About the turn signals. In Japan, this color is called not yellow, not orange, but amber. Just a little side note, that's enough about the exterior, you can see it for yourself. But what you can't see yet absolutely should know about is the suspension. It's independent in the front, multi-link with McPherson struts, And in the rear, there's a solid axle, real springs, control arms, and the stabilizer bar. A nice touch. There are no intermediate supports on the drive shaft, and the universal joints are double, like little short drive shafts. And after yet another round of constant minor facelifts, disc brakes have been installed. Now let's go inside, and you'll see that this is cooler than a Rolls-Royce. I can really feel the weight of the door. All right, into the driver's seat. I've already mentioned that the car is designed with the passenger in mind, but it's a real treat for the driver too. For example, the steering wheel lifts up for easier entry, but in this case, the seat is already pushed all the way back. What is the interior trimmed with? With real wood wherever possible and velour. Some might ask, why not leather? If it were leather, then it would be luxury. But as it is just mainstream, but try sliding your backside across velour and listen to the sounds it makes. None at all. The squeak of leather under your backside would disturb the tranquility and calm that pervades this place. And there's also the climate control system wafting through here. The dashboard is almost fully digital. There are 8 power windows here. You might ask why there are only 4 windows. Did you count the vent windows? They're powered too. Let me show you. Adjustable mirrors on the fenders. And also there's a button that automatically lowers and raises the window. And there's a switch that lets you do it little by little. And of course, the vent window. All sorts of seat heaters. And the Firebird is drawn here. Oh, and by the way, there's an ashtray with a lighter too. From the very beginning, the Century was equipped with large and powerful engines. Such engines were not installed on other models of the company. Only the Century had that privilege. The V8 engine kept increasing in displacement and power. Ours, you could say, is the golden mean. 3 liters, 180 horsepower. By the way, there were 3 body versions produced. The standard, the extended one like ours, which is 20 centimeters longer, and the Limousine. Now, the trunk compartment. The Century can and does carry its owner around the island nation. So what? There are hydraulic struts here, just so you know. The spare tire is hidden under a cover. Behind it, there's a jack and a soft case for whatever you might need. And that's the long story. I don't know what it's for. Well, a samurai sword, maybe. Back to the interior. It's also worth noting that every function here has its own button. They're all labeled, unfortunately, in Japanese characters, but you can figure them out intuitively, though that's not guaranteed. The seats have a ton of adjustments. Forward, backward, the backrest, lumbar support, and this knee lift here. But you'll be surprised. This is the most basic trim of the Century. A little armrest with a double compartment, a storage box, an ashtray, as I mentioned, in every door, cup holders, 2 of them. The glove compartment also hints at cup holders. There's nothing here. When you initially turn on the air conditioning system, you can conveniently set the primary lever in the central position, and subsequently, the various air vents will then automatically and efficiently distribute the conditioned air throughout the entire cabin interior, gently moving and oscillating from the left side to the right side. Well, there used to be a tape player here, but it is what it is. So let's start the engine. And you know, the starter makes more noise than the engine does once it's running. Honestly, if you close all the windows tightly, I can barely hear it at all. But I can monitor the engine speed using the electronic tachometer. As I mentioned, the entire instrument panel here is electronic. Everything people usually say about a regular car doesn't really apply to the Century. For example, acceleration to 100 kilometers per hour. Why would you need to know that? I'm sure even the owner of the car doesn't know. The black car accelerates confidently and very dynamically. On earlier models, the gear shift lever was located right here, under the steering wheel, or more precisely, on the center console, and it stuck up. It was always sticking up like that. Later, of course, the car was improved, and the gear lever was moved to the spot we're familiar with, which is actually convenient. And now the gearbox here is a 4-speed. And I don't feel at all how the gears are shifting. But I can tell you how the car drives. It's leisurely, stately, and even a bit too floaty. The suspension travel is long, but that's intentional. Not a single bump should bother the passengers. It's better to sway on the road's waves than to have a jolt go through the suspension. And the body roll in corners is very American. You know what the magic is? This car is neither bold nor fun. It's a calm, comfortable vehicle. Yes, it can burn rubber and speed along breaking traffic rules, but that's not what this is about. Here, it's about dignity and comfort. You have to grow into a car like this. And you just want to turn on the music here. There's a surround sound stereo system here, but you can't turn on the music. That's a copyright violation. Damn it! So you'll have to listen to my boring chatter. And it's cozy in the cabin at night when all the buttons are glowing like little swamp lights. And the headlights have an auto function that switches from high beam to low beam when necessary. Every Century was assembled and painted by hand at the Kanto Auto Works factory. In 1997, the second generation of the model was born. Today, the third generation is available on the domestic market. But all of them carry on the legacy of previous generations. An 8-cylinder engine, what a soft rustle it has. Its voice is velvety. Now, about the fender mirrors, at first, you can't get used to them. But once you do, you understand why they lasted the longest on cars in Japan. On narrow streets, it's much easier to navigate with these mirrors. There are practically no blind spots. Yes. Number. As always, something was missed, something left untold. But that's what the museum is for, where you are always welcome. Automotive history is multifaceted and fascinating. The main thing is not to politicize it, which I can hardly manage. But I continue the hunt